Welcome back to Horror on Tap. As of recording, it is January 31st, and it's been about 24 hours or so since the news broke that Catherine O'Hara had passed away. Now, in all honesty, she's not one of those actresses where if a conversation came up, if somebody said, "Oh, who's your favorite actress?" she probably would not be at the very top of my list. However, I was a big fan of her work. She did have a handful of films that I had seen, and also she'd been on TV quite a bit here and there. So I figured today what might be a fun little moment of remembrance would be to go back through and take a look at my 5 top favorite Catherine O'Hara films. So here we go. So I'm going to do these in ascending order. Starting at number 1, we have Home Alone. Fantastic film. She played Kate McAllister, Kevin's mom. She had, a very memorable role in that film. She had one of those great infectious screams when she, screams out his name when they figure out on the airplane that they've left Kevin behind while they went on their trip to Paris. So that's actually one of my favorite Christmas films of all time, too. Probably my second most favorite. So moving on to number 2, we have Beetlejuice. Again, another great classic film where she starred as Delia Dietz. This is another one that I grew up watching this movie. I forget the year it came out off the top of my head, but I was quite young when it came out. And it was just one I grew up with. And she had that kind of that weird style. She was an artist, the matriarch of the family in the film. And she had all sorts of weird hairdos and things like that throughout the film that were very memorable. And of course, the Deo scene. Everybody, I think, loves that scene. It was a classic. So, number 2, Beetlejuice. Number 3 is a movie called Best in Show, which probably a lot fewer people have seen that one than have seen Home Alone and Beetlejuice. I've only seen this movie once, and it was one that my parents kind of sat me down to watch. I was hanging out with them one day, and they were like, "Hey, you ever seen the movie Best in Show?" I never even heard of it, and so we sat down to watch it, and it's a very, very enjoyable film. One of those, it's kind of safe for the whole family, and that the mockumentary type of film, and just a kind of a wholesome, fun movie. Very enjoyable. I knew nothing about it when I sat down to watch it. Of course, Catherine O'Hara's character of Cookie Fleck, her and her husband, played by the great Eugene Levy, of course. They travel to these dog shows, and it's kind of hilarious how really seriously everybody takes these dog shows that they compete in. So, if you haven't seen it, I do recommend it. So number 4 would be Home Alone 2, reprising her role as Kate McAllister, and this time, of course, Kevin gets lost in New York City rather than staying home. And again, I'm sure most people have seen it. It's sort of that same, the family leaves, goes on vacation, leaves Kevin behind, and Catherine's role as Kate McAllister, reprising her role in this film. She's still the same character she was in the first one. Kind of peeved at Kevin a little bit here and there, and then of course everything happens, and then she feels horrible, and she's doing everything she can to fight her way back to find him. And once she gets word that he has been found in New York, now she's got to find her way there, much like she had to find her way back home in the first one. Great performance again by Catherine O'Hara in this one. She's that mother that you just don't want to piss off. And coming in at number 5, another film I've only seen once, and it was many years ago, so I don't remember a lot about it. Excuse me. But it's a film called The Paper. Of course, it has to do with a newspaper and their newsroom and everything, and all the dealings going on in that setting. Catherine O'Hara plays a character named Susan. There's a great scene with her and Marissa Tomei where they're talking about how she's like, oh, I got in. I was gonna get out after a short amount of time, and after X amount of years, I'm still here. And they're sitting out, having lunch, and the waiter comes back by, and I think she flags him down or something. And he comes back over and pours her, tops off her glass of what I think was probably a Chardonnay or something like that. Very similar to that scene in Halloween H2O with Jamie Lee Curtis. But anyway, good film. It was, again, it's been quite a few years, probably a good 12 years, something like that, since I've seen it. But it's one I'll definitely go back and watch again here at some point, because I kind of forgot about it until I was looking up movies that Catherine O'Hara had been in, and honestly, I think there only were 5 that I had even seen. So this one kind of came in and just snuck into the top 5 kind of by default. But it is actually a pretty enjoyable film. Another one I would recommend if you haven't seen it. I have added Beetlejuice to my viewing list. Just because I have not seen it yet. It was one that when it came out, or it was announced anyway, I was pretty excited about it, and I saw the preview and I was like, still seems pretty good. Then it came out in theaters, and it kind of had mixed reactions, which any kind of sequel that's taken that many years to come out, there's going to be such a difference in how it's made, the portrayal of the characters, even with returning characters or returning actors to reprise their roles. They're 20 years older, 30 years older, depending on how long it's been between films, and it just creates a very different dynamic. So it after a while I was kind of like, maybe I'll get to it at some point, but I just haven't at this point. So I have added that to my watch list, so I will check that one out here shortly. Well, that's really all I had for today. I just wanted to kind of put out the my top 5 Catherine O'Hara films in her memory. Beyond that, I would recommend going out and checking out Best in Show and The Paper if you haven't seen them. And of course, I feel like all the other ones, or the other 3, most people have probably seen them. So I'm gonna have just a light little sip of a Yingling lager here. Put 'em up high for Catherine O'Hara. And tune in next time to find out what's on tap.